Okay, welcome everybody to our September 13th, 2022 regular school board meeting. And we're going virtual tonight. Mr. Marvin is going to lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Mrs. Kuzer, we're going to start with roll call.
Okay. Mr. Marvin,
Here.
Mrs. Strite,
Here.
Mrs. Zimmerman is not here. Mr. Smith,
Here.
Mrs. Miles. She's not there. Dr. Royer,
Here.
Mrs. Fortney,
Here.
Mrs. Sullivan,
Here.
and Mrs. Harold is not there.
Okay, good. Thank you. So we have a quorum here tonight, and you know, as long as we can stay like this, we'll be fine for the meeting. Okay, here we go on the agenda. Does anybody have any changes to the agenda?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then can I have a motion and a second?
Move to approve the agenda.
Second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Same thing with the minutes. Any changes to the minutes? Oops. Okay, I need a motion and a second.
Move to, second.
Did you get that, Dr. Reuter, Mr. Marvin? Ben, okay. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Dr. Klein, you're on for superintendent's report.
All right, actually, I have a very, just a nice story about one of our students that I want to share. We get these every so often, but I wanted to share this one tonight. I had a Fairfield teacher contact me and said that they live in Waynesboro. And when they left their house, they could not, and they went to school, they couldn't find their wallet, and they started to panic. They called their wife. Their wife said, "It's not at home. Did you check the car?" He said, "I checked all over the car." He couldn't find it. Well, one of our Waynesboro High School students, I believe a 10th grader, I won't say his name yet because I haven't had a chance to go over and talk to him and thank him for his good citizenship. But anyhow, he had found saw the name and everything and took it to the office, and it was returned to the rightful owner intact. And it just tells you that most of our kids do the right things, and we don't always hear about that and talk about it, but Waynesboro has a lot of good kids, and I think that is just was a good story to share tonight. And we have another good kid that maybe she wants to follow up with some of the other things that are happening at the high school. Riley?
All right, thank you, Dr. Klein. So I just wanted to talk about a few things that are going on in the high school right now. So we are in the midst of homecoming preparations. So homecoming is October 8th, and then the game would be the Friday before, so the 7th. So right now we have decided a theme. We're going with Enchanted Forest, so colors like purples and greens and pink, a little bit of pinks and some blues. So we're super excited about that. Along with FBLA had their tailgate this past Friday at the home game. It was our first tailgate that the students were mostly driven for. So it was mostly student run, student prepared everything. We had some help from Mr. Kreider, but he let us pretty much run it ourselves. So that was an eye-opening experience that we got to experience. And then we do have a new junior rep that is going to join me. I'm super excited to meet him and have him give some input to the board. We're hoping he will start soon. And then some other things that have been going on in the high school is hats. Mostly guys have wanted to wear hats in school, which is against the dress code, and our teachers have done a great job at telling them to take their hats off. But they are starting a movement, which is HLM, which is Hat Lives Matter. So they really want to try and start to get that rule changed that hats could be worn. So Mr. Bigler is trying to talk to them and explain to them the right way to do things, and if they want to make change, to come to the board. So just be prepared maybe for the future to have some people come and try to talk about that, or they said that they might talk to me about that, and then I could talk to you guys. So other than that, that's all that's going on at the high school right now.
Thank you, Riley. Who's our new rep from the junior class?
It's Robert. No, it's a boy. I forget his name.
Oh, you fit in right with Wendy and me. We never remember names either. But thank
Yeah,
you.
I know it's a guy, and he's a junior, obviously.
Okay. Thank
Mrs.
you.
Sullivan, his name is River Hurd.
River?
Mhm.
River, okay. Thank you. Dr. Klein, is that it for you then?
That's it.
Okay. Next, we have board reports. And
Do
the
you
only
not,
thing,
Mrs. Sullivan, do you have any public comment?
well, I didn't get any.
Oh, okay, then we're good. I just wanted to make sure.
Mrs. Kuja, do I have something that I didn't know about?
No public comment.
Okay, good. Okay, back to board reports. Policy meets September 14th, which is tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Right, Dr. Klein?
That's correct.
Okay. And that's really all I have for policy. Dr. Royer, do you want to do?
Yeah, academic committee met on the 31st and discussed, for the high school, we discussed some aspects of block scheduling, which we'll be implementing for the 22-23 school year. For the middle school, we talked about the addition of a club and also possible new text for ELA. And elementary, we discussed reintroducing swimming in the 4th grade during early dismissal days, and my understanding is that is underway and being.
Next week on Monday, the 19th at 5:30 is the budget committee meeting, and that's going to be here at Clayton Ave. On Tuesday, the 20th at 5:30 is going to be facilities meeting, and that's going to be at Summit View Elementary. And so that is open to the public, but that is also the same night that there's some academic night at Summit View as well. So it's gonna be bustling at Summit View for a variety of reasons next Tuesday.
Oh, okay. That'll be good to see. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Next we go to business, and we're going to start with student waiver. Dr. Sternerheim.
Thank you, Mrs. Sullivan. I'd like to direct your attention to the student waiver. Recommendation from the administration is to approve the student waiver as discussed.
Wish to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Great, thank you. The next one is personnel.
Thank you,
Wait,
Mrs.
No, paraeducators.
Sure, but it does
Paraeducators
relate
and
to
they're
personnel.
both you.
So within the board docs, it explains administrative content regarding 2 separate issues, but are obviously together as well. Recognizing that we do need 2 part-time paraeducators to become full-time paraeducators this year. Why not wait till next year? Both issues are highlighted, and in terms of the best solution at this time for Maori special education students and transportation working together, it was essential that we move to creating 2 para positions that were prior part-time positions now to full-time. And within the personnel listing, those individuals are listed with an asterisk. So the recommendation from the administration is to approve two part-time paras into a full-time position to assist with transportation issues related to Maori and special education students.
Okay, does anybody have anything they want to ask? I mean, it was pretty explained really well, and it looks like it's just what we have to do.
Right.
To get the coverage, right? Okay. Do you want to go ahead and do personnel too and do it all as one vote?
If that's,
Yeah, you can,
we
yeah,
could
go
do it
ahead.
together because
Yeah.
they, basically the two individuals are listed within the personnel doc. So I can go ahead and do
Right.
that if that's
Okay,
the board's wishes. Okay, I'd like to direct your attention to personnel. We have resignation of support staff, resignation of extracurricular staff, transfer into support staff, and there are those two asterisk positions. Change in hours of support staff, appointments to support staff, appointments to coaching staff, appointments to extracurricular, appointments to game personnel, appointments to substitute support staff. In addition, we have transfers to support staff positions as listed, and a series of leave requests. So the recommendation is to approve as listed.
okay, anybody have any questions on that? Then I need a motion and a second.
Move to approve the educators change the full-time and as well as the personnel approvals.
Second. Did you get that, Mrs. Kuzer?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, good. Now on to bus driver. And this would be Mr. Holtzman.
Thank you, ma'am. We have just one driver here for Heck Myers. They've passed the appropriate background check and we're asking for approval.
To approve.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next is the Personnel Committee recommendations. And I read them and I think, Mr. Holtzman, you'll be doing this one, right?
I think unless Dr. Sternerheim or Dr. Klein feel differently.
No.
So what we've been doing is as we have other personnel items, we're trying to make sure we use the personnel committee a little bit more. And we appreciate your help with that. So we have 3 items that came from the personnel committee. These were presented to the committee. One is an increase in the Act 91 hourly pay. This is to make sure that we're compensating our paraprofessionals who are helping us out in an Act 91 model, to actually compensate them a little bit more because their salaries rose last year, but we didn't increase the Act 91 salaries. So we're asking to move that up by $1 an hour. The middle school kitchen manager, we're asking to move that individual also up 1 range. The cafeteria covers the additional cost for this, but we feel that based on the number of students that are using the facility, it's also set up as a kind of a food court environment as well. It is probably just as busy as the high school. We feel that those responsibilities are the same as the high school, so moving that up 1 level. And then technology compensation rates, again, something we probably just did not address as part of the review for 22-23, but our technology subs are only being paid at $12 an hour. And so the committee came back with the recommendation, which we're supporting, of course, is the increase to $17 an hour for the part-time technology staff and $15 an hour for the technology substitutes.
Okay, anybody have any questions for Mr. Holtzman? Okay, I need a motion.
Move to approve the recommendations.
Second. Anybody have any discussion?
I think the only thing I'll say is, given the hiring environment that, I've experienced on the business side, I think it's important that we try to retain the people that we do have. And so I think if we are able to increase the pay, that helps with retention, as well as rewarding those that have been working with us. for a while. And I think I kind of echo that if the middle school kitchen manager is doing similar work as the high school kitchen manager, that they should be compensated for that as well.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, motion to approve.
Move to approve. We do second. Yeah.
We did that already.
Yeah.
We did that already. Okay, I didn't cross it off my list. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, passes then.
Thank you.
Sorry. Okay, next is WAEA MOUs, Dr. Klein.
Okay, these MOUs are memorandums of understanding, and they are agreements between the association and the school district. We've had most of these in the past. Actually, we had 5 last year instead of 4. We combined the Inspire and Boost agreement. It's pretty much the same thing, but instead of having 2 separate ones, and we have Laurel Life supplies that service. It's not being supplied by the bargaining unit, so we have to have an MOU. The study hall monitor, we've had many years, I believe, a number of years. The ISS AI agreement that instead of a teacher, it can be a para for both the study hall and the ISS. That's what those agreements are for. The cyber MOU, we have no cyber program this year, but the association had asked us if we keep it in place for a year, just in case that it needs to come up. So I didn't see any reason why we couldn't, since we don't actually have that our first choice cyber program right now. So they're just asking to keep it in place as we did last year. So we're asking that all 4 of those be approved tonight.
Anybody have any questions? Again, I read them and I thought they were very well, explained. And anybody else want to add anything? No? Okay, then motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Next one is the Stepping Stones contract. And that is Mr. Holtzman.
I think I might have to defer that one. Was that to Dr. Cerner-Hind or Dr. Clyde?
It's okay. It's just an agreement with, actually, it's probably special ed.
Yeah, it is. It's an agreement that we've had, I believe, in the past.
It's
just
for a speech
renewed.
language pathologist.
Yes, and
Correct.
so it's something that we've had in the past and we're just renewing it. The only thing I believe, I was thinking that the cost may have gone up, but I can't recall offhand.
I would say that's probably pretty fair to assume that.
Yeah. So, but other than that, there hasn't been a whole lot of changes aside from the dates.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? No? All right, motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Okay, next is the Southwood Hospital Agreement.
Yeah, that would be mine. The Southwood Hospital Agreement is something that is not out of the ordinary. When agencies place students, maybe the court or someone may place a student in a facility. Although we don't pay for that service, we still have to be responsible for the education of that child. So Southwood is one of those places that students may get placed. We don't have any there at this time. But with that in mind, having that agreement, it protects them, but it also protects us that we have a set fee there that they have. So that agreement is in place. We really don't have a lot of choice because we still have to pay for that education.
Okay, anybody have any questions? Great, then. Motion,
Move to approve.
Second.
discussion. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, pass. And the last one under business is the club bylaws, which I guess Dr. Sternheim,
That is correct. Thank you, Mrs. Sullivan. So these are 3 new clubs that were proposed by the WAMS administration under faculty advisement. And what you have there is a listing of their bylaws. So we have the proposal of a WAMS video gaming club, a WAMS ski club, and a WAMS chess club. So the recommendation is to approve those clubs as listed.
anybody have any questions about the clubs?
I have a couple of questions,
Sure.
more on the cost of the ski club. First is, so looking at the prices, is that all students are responsible for that cost of the prices there?
So essentially what it is, and we've had a ski club in the past, what we would have to do is the number of students, and it appears as if in this particular case, you would join the ski club and you would have the options of participating in 2 different fundraisers in order to offset the cost. So I think it's generated based on the number of students, but I can go back to you with specific numbers. But unfortunately, skiing is a relatively expensive sport. However, the ability to go with a group, and it says possibly high school as well, will definitely create a scenario where perhaps it's a little more affordable.
Okay, I think that was my concern, is that because it is a more expensive sport for students that might not have the means, what could be done to help offset? So it says that the cost of transportation, there's the fundraiser for that, because those funds also be applied to the pass as well, or is that all inclusive?
I would have to double check with the advisor. I believe it's Mr. Bosso, but I can get that information to you. But like, again, I would, I think when they're talking about the pass, I guess it's multiple days. Like, so in other words, it is for a series of, it's several, it's like not a one and done, but I can
Okay.
work on some of those numbers and get back to you.
Yeah, I think I'm not against the ski club. I just want to make sure that we're trying to help students who might be interested, but might not be able to afford it.
Sure. And I would say that we've been very fortunate as a district in situations, even like in, like, let's say athletics, if there is a situation of that nature, we will definitely follow through. I know with our teamwork makes a dream work, t-shirts, the extra money that we were able to collect as a result of that does go back into student, for student use. So that is something we can definitely explore, but I will update the board on that in my Friday folder when I get some additional information.
Nope, that's great. And I think my last question is with the video game club. It said
Sure.
rated M games will not be permitted. But I just was curious as who is the one doing the vetting? Is it the advisor? Is it a couple of people at WAMS?
So it would be Mrs. Holly Whitmer, who is our media specialist. So I know that I could get also a listing of the games, but yeah, she would be the individual with the essentially the control over what essential games they're allowed to play during this club time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Okay, you need a motion then?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Well, if you think of anything later, you can message Dr. Sternerheim.
Yeah, thank
And-
you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, then that one passes too. Which brings us to financial business, Mr. Holtzman.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Tonight, we just have requisitions and bills payable for the cafeteria and the general fund. And again, just as a reminder, we're still transitioning into the SC view. We still have a couple employees in the buildings that we have not had an opportunity to change. That's why you're seeing requisitions in 2 different formats at the moment. But hopefully by the next month here, we'll have that resolved.
Okay,
And that was the only item we have on this time. We don't have, we do not have exonerations or any other items.
okay. Anybody have any questions for him?
more just the comments. Mr. Holtzman, the forklift was purchased that we approved last time, correct?
We did, yes, we did not waste any time. We appreciate your approval with the forklift. We had an allocation, I think, of $20,000. I think we were under that, just under 17, I believe is what the number was. But Mr. Adams was very pleased. He had it brought out and we inspected it again and checked it out and then made it that commitment. So we do appreciate your support with that. It also has a little bit more functionality, being able to get it into some of the building areas, which we could not get the other one. So again, thank you very much for that.
Very good. Move to approve.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
We're good there too. Okay, that brings us to blatant cabinet comments.
The only thing I have is I wanted to thank the board for being flexible tonight, moving to a online version. We wanted to make sure we had enough people for a quorum tonight so we could get some of these important items completed. So wanted to thank the board for being flexible enough to do that tonight.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to thank our building principals as well as our parents and our families. I know we are exploring various options with drop off and pickup. So appreciate their continuous cooperation as well as we continue to evolve and try to create the best possible solution for dropping off our students and picking them up each and every day.
Anything else?
Hey, I just want, oops, sorry.
Oh,
The
go
way-
right ahead.
I have to wait my turn.
Okay, well, now it's board member comments. So now it'd be your turn.
Thank you. Sorry about that, but just wanted to sort of give a shout out to staff, teachers, everyone in the Waynesboro family who prepared students, who prepared things for students to come in. I think the opening few weeks of school, I think it was an easy transition, seemed to be seamless and probably and absolutely a lot of work on the inside, but it was smooth, especially after a couple of years of kids being shuffled around. So it was good to see a good start to the school year. And that's complimentary of the leadership there in the district.
Well, I agree with that. Dr. Royer and I have been to all 6 schools. We're not done though. We're going to go to the preschools too. And we both would say the same thing. Like, we thought it was a great opening and we're impressed with all the schools. Jump in.
No, absolutely. It's great. On it, going all.
Anybody else have anything from the board? Okay, then. Well, that brings us to our closing, which I think we do a exec session here.
Yeah,
Personnel.
yeah.
So everybody else, we're ready to adjourn. Motion.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And we are adjourned.